Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start today's topic, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope everyone is doing better than fantastic. And I do hope you are all making wonderful strides in your journey to self-betterment. And I also want to thank you for your wonderful comments, your sharing, and all of the help you are providing each other. It's really wonderful to see. Because in this life we live where we feel like we are alone. There's always someone else here that proves that we aren't. That there are others going through exactly what we went through or what we are going through. And the more we understand that and can get to the next phase in our healing, we can truly do the self-work and make great strides in our lives. With all of that said, one of the subscribers commented about how some people out there have been making content talking about how some people think everyone is a narcissist. And when in reality or the reality they are speaking about that true narcissists are very few in the world. And they wanted to know my take on things. Well, first things first. The narcissism that in my opinion is the most common and the one that is most hidden. And the least talked about in the mainstream of society. And that's covert narcissism or covert narcissists. So when we think about a narcissist, we think of someone that is very loud, brash, and they are very much so over the top in all things they do in life. And this image is pushed and pushed and pushed to the point where the average person might be talking to a covert narcissist and have no idea they are doing so. Because what they've seen in the mainstream of society has made them have a skewed idea of what narcissism is all about. Or at least only seeing one narrow side of narcissism or narcissistic personality disorder. So we as a society have this big blind spot when it's in regards to the covert narcissist. And because of this blind spot, we rely on prison polls and things like that to gather stats on who is mostly affected by such a personality disorder. Because the average covert narcissist will likely never seek counseling nor will they ever admit they are a narcissist. Actually quite the opposite. Like we know to be true. If we present information to such a person telling them what they likely are, they will figure out a way to flip things around and convince others that we are the narcissist, not them. So the true narcissist will do everything they can to stay away from anything that points to them having a problem. Let alone taking a study or poll to let someone gather information on how many narcissists are in the world. Then we have the family unit in utter chaos in our society, where it's more common than not to come from a broken home, with little to no stability. Now why is this important? Because narcissism or narcissistic personality disorder oftentimes starts out as a defense mechanism. A way for a young person that doesn't have a good sense of the world to protect their thoughts, feelings, and inner self when living in a broken home and around other toxic people. And the problem with this is, if this person doesn't get a hold of this problem very early on, which many don't have the wherewithal to do so, but if they don't get a hold of this problem very early on, it turns to a fixed part of their personality. And instead of gaining pleasure from being helpful and kind, they gain pleasure from tricking and manipulating others. Now does this mean everyone is a narcissist? No. However, the problem is bigger than what many say in my humble opinion. And I don't believe it's just a small sliver of our society. And again this goes back to broken homes being common. The things that have now become made normal in our society that feeds into the dysfunction of someone just trying to figure out what's right and wrong in the world. And sadly many adopt the self-protection of narcissism. It goes unchecked. And it becomes a part of their fixed personality. Where instead of living a life of love, they live a life of manipulating one person after the next until their life is over. I will tell you. I've talked to people at work that I get that feeling that runs up my spine. Because they are exhibiting the red flags of what I've seen with in regards to covert narcissist. And more times than not they prove themselves to be someone to avoid and that they are not to be trusted. I've met ladies that I thought would be nice to get to know and possibly date. However, I took a step back and witnessed one red flag after the next and never pursued things at all. However, in that same respect, I've made friends over the years. People that I do trust within reason. People I've gotten to know at work, the gym, the park down the street, and in other areas of my life. These are people that I keep things in perspective when dealing with them. Meaning, like we've talked about, telling them every aspect about our lives isn't required or needed. But I've grown very close with many of these people. And they have been consistent over the years. We are friends and it's remained the same for many years. Many years with no issues. But out of the many people I've met and dealt with, the number of people I'm close to is small. And to be honest with you, that's normal and in my opinion healthy. However, again, I've seen many especially at work, that exhibit many red flags of the covert narcissist. And this goes back to society. You see, the world has become a dog-eat-dog world, where people think they have to always be on their toes ready to manipulate others in order to get ahead in life. You really see this in the work world with those trying to climb that ladder. And I don't think all of these people are all full-on narcissists. But they are a stone throw away from being one, and it's not worth to trust such a person with your information or with your trust to do the right thing when you are dealing with them. And it's common, I think, once you know what you are looking for and you can see the red flags. You will see them in nearly all areas of life. From school, to work, to also in your family. Here's something to think about. My mother was both an overt and covert narcissist. My mom was such a good manipulator. And she was so slick about it. However, she was strange in her life and character. So much so, she stuck out. With that said, I always thought my uncles and aunts and my cousins had a great life. That was until I got older and discovered narcissism. And noticed the same patterns playing out in their life. And they were just better at hiding their dysfunctions. And possibly better at hiding their narcissism from others. So no, not everyone is a narcissist. But it's a heck of a lot more common than what many talk about and what the polls tells us. And the reason why is because covert narcissists don't want you to know they are a narcissist. Hence the name. Covert narcissism. And the only people that can really see them is another narcissist. Or someone that is a narcissistic abuse survivor that has done the self-work. And the rest of society, they just walk right past them. But I think that is changing because many are adopting these covert traits because they see it as a needed thing in order to survive in our society. Which might mean you will have more people able to see the scam. Because you will have more people out there scamming, so to speak. Which isn't something one would want. It would be better to have more people aware and doing the self-work. So they can say, hey, wait a minute. This is wrong. This is narcissism. But that's what I think. That's my opinion. What's your opinion? I would like to know. With that said, I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time. Bye for now. And be good to yourself.